This is an experiment.
Whoa. I'm okay, I don't need to experiment.
What I'm going to show you is something I want to get feedback on.
I'm sure the size is fine. I'm sure the size you remember is just fine. I don't want to look at it. No, thank you.
Game Test Play 游戏音乐
混搭电台 Okay, let's start.
This is Game Test Play, the show where we roast different gaming channels by riffing their material. I'm your host, Andrew at GameTestPlay.com, and today we're going to look at 3 different creators and crap on their content. Let's dive right into it. First up is Projared. Now, if you're not familiar with Projared, let me bring you up to speed. He's a gamer, and in his free time, he likes to show pictures of his penis to random strangers on the internet. And about a year ago, he sent a picture to a random stranger who happened to be underage.
I was exchanging nudes with fans on Snapchat and Tumblr, and I always made it clear that it was for consenting adults only.
He said nothing for about 7 months, and then he came out with a video explaining how everyone was lied to, and that he was actually manipulated into giving someone a picture of his penis who was underage.
I was lied to, and so were you.
They told him, oh, well, I'm over 18, and Jared kept the receipts.
I have the receipts.
That's where we stand right now with Jared, Projared.
It was an open invitation to those who wanted to participate. At no point did I ever pursue them. I never offered anyone anything in return.
I never watched any of Jared's streams. I watched his edited videos before.
I also never threatened anyone, any kind of punishment.
He's trying a new format, and he wants his fans to help him out with this, so let me just have him explain to you what's going on right now.
As you know, I've been doing a lot of streaming, and that includes streaming of all the Final Fantasy games, plus a bunch of other stuff. And I know a lot of people don't really like watching the whole streams or the whole archives, but another user has been taking those archives and making compilation videos of them. I wanted to see if these were something that you guys would like. So...
Alright, so he has a fan out there making compilation videos of his streams. It's going to be all the funny bits. I'm sure the first clips are going to be the absolute best parts, right?
No. Okay, so this is my first time doing the full playthrough of Final Fantasy V. The wind stopped. I've got to hurry. Cuts to a guy playing golf. Oh, the wind stopped. Great. It's gonna be a lot of this.
And this is supposed to be the best part.
Hi, Whitesnake. Okay. Bye, Whitesnake. Chop. 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 Exciting stuff, guys.
This is what the fan thought was the most interesting parts of his live stream. Him sitting there going like this, moving his head back and forth, saying, oh, let me read it. And then he reads stuff out loud.
It's gonna be a lot of
this is not very interesting.
Keep them locked up! That's Captain!
This is just absolutely pathetic that this is the first minute of a compilation from his stream, and that's all he could find. That's all the fan could find, was him laughing to himself over nothing. There are attempts at humor in this, and let me play a joke for you.
Do you want to go through here? We'll all get wet. What are you saying? Let's go. Oh, what's wrong, Ferris? Don't you want to get wet?
Alright, so I guess there's an inside joke to when he showed those kids his dingling. Once you get exposed for doing that, you can't make jokes about child molestation anymore. You really can't. It doesn't bode too well. Now, the editing itself, I think the guy who's doing it is doing an alright job because he does like the zoom ins, and you'll see in a bit, I think he puts some stuff on top of there and makes it look cute or something, but here's an example of the content he has to work with.
It's a floating head shoving his tongue out in such a way that the skin of the face is coming off, leaving just the skull behind. Holy shit. That's awesome.
Alright, that's really awesome.
Oh, I'm sorry? I'm fucking sorry? Surprisingly Irish. You can't tell, but I'm doing a jig.
So it looks like the editor went and took some legs and put them underneath his face box to make it look like he's dancing to this Irish music.
You can't tell, but I'm doing a jig.
That's the extent of his humor, really, is that he kind of dances in place a little bit and says things in a really sensational voice.
Hello? Father? Do you want to go through here?
Who's ever editing this, I'd like to tell you straight up, I think you should be editing your own videos and not this guy's, because if this is the kind of content you have to deal with, you're really polishing turds at this point. Like, you're really going out of your way to make someone who's not funny try and look funny.
Chop.
Projared finds a lot of things funny that aren't, and here's an example of a cat.
Okay, that is a cat with a wing strapped to its back. That's adorable.
You can't think of a joke. You try to spit a joke, and you just come up with, that's adorable. I'm so prissy. What else do you have? This is why I avoid live streaming.
Oh, there's dudes down here? Garkamasra? I shouldn't be here, should I?
It's supposed to be a punchline or something for you, Projared.
I shouldn't be here, should I?
You just get this cult of personality nonsense where kids watch it and they think you're so cool because you have the metrics to back it up, but this doesn't deserve views or any retention time whatsoever.
Look, a treasure. So close to the treasure. No! Is that a hat?
This is something that you can do to make it funnier.
Oh, Father's helmet. Dead.
Alright, so again, the editor's doing this thing where he puts an arrow in Jared's heart and blood comes out. And, I think his time would better be served doing this on his own channel. Projared is just really corny and cringy, guys. I had to sit through about 20 minutes of this, and I would never be able to sit through a full stream, so whoever edited this, mad props, because it's pretty unbearable.
See, I've manipulated the RNG this time. No! Escape! Ha! Give it to me! Elf cape. So now all I gotta do is escape. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Agility. Nope, 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 don't steal. Escape!
I don't know what these masturbation references are. They're really gross, though. Because I think everyone's okay with that. He likes to play with himself. Look, I'm glad his fans have a sick sense of humor, but I'm just not getting the demographics here. Like, who's watching this? Is it adults? Is it kids? Is it adults and kids in the same room? What's going on here?
Elf Toad! Oh, look at him! By the way, this is exactly how I look when I wake up in the morning.
You know, if you ever played these old school games, it's a lot of grinding, a lot of back and forth, a lot of RNG manipulation. It can get pretty boring to watch, especially redoing the same dungeon and the same enemies over and over again.
Chop. Chop. It really sucks how much this game crashes just keeps crashing. I would have won that fight if the game just wouldn't crash.
If you want to respect your audience's time, make sure you got your hardware set up so that you don't have to deal with this sort of shit.
Got away, got away. See, we're getting it, we're getting it, we're getting it, we're getting it, we're getting it. Ha! Go, 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 go! Yes! No! Escape! Ferris! I'm out! Woo!
Oh, this is just so boring. And Jared can't tell a joke to save his life. He tries for it sometimes and never hits. It's always a miss with him. Check this out.
Fire crystal's power is what supported this castle. The crystal shattered. The castle will explode?
Alright, so he's trying to read things and sound funny when he says them, and he can't even read them right. And then the guy editing it thought that this was good enough to keep in. This was a keeper right here.
The crystal shattered. The crystal shattered.
Where Jared can't read the words right and tries to do a silly voice. It's unbearable.
Just kidding. I just wanted to see. Everywhere I go, I just cause bad shit to happen.
Yes, you do. You do cause bad shit to happen. And since you realize that, why don't you tone it down on streaming and work more on videos that people want to watch? Because this is total garbage. I feel bad for the people sitting there and following you, because this is just cult of personality right here. This is not like, oh, you're doing such a great job, you're really interesting, you've led this incredible life where I have to hear all your comments.
Everywhere I go, I just cause bad shit to happen.
It's really gross, man. And trying to play into the whole like, oh, I'm a professional gamer. This is why Reggie left Nintendo, because he did a video with Projared, and there was nothing wrong in the video, but this was before Jared got caught with his pants down, and now everyone needs to disassociate from him. And I think the people watching his stream need to leave also.
You're going, aren't you? So you were awake. Are you going to protect us from the bad guys again? Well, that's Daddy's job. Take me with you. You stay at the house with your mother. And you'll keep this a secret from her, won't you? Because if you don't...
Is this entertainment for 5-year-olds? It's like you're reading bedtime stories to them or something. And I don't know if it's supposed to be cute or funny. I really don't know his demographics, but having somebody sit there and read Final Fantasy to me...
Well, that's Daddy's job. Take me with you.
One of the worst things I can imagine. I'd rather go to school than do this. And this is why people hate gamers and gaming in general, because they see little snippets of this. Like, why would you want to watch this? And there's a lot of interesting people out there. You know, maybe they're doing speed runs or they have something to add to the conversation.
I never offered anyone anything in return.
Projared has nothing to add here. All he is reading stuff in silly voices and making faces. This is low rent humor right here. Oh, the Coral Sword is Thunder element? Which means it should murder the shit out of this bird. 1 second, should murder the shit out of this bird. Murder the shit out of this bird. Okay, yeah, this is for kids. Because he's just trying to say shit a lot, because it's funny when you say shit. So the kids are like, hey, I really like it. He said shit. I'm going to share this with my friends. You see, the weed makes you really cool, and then you drink, and it makes you horny, but the weed makes you sleepy, so then you don't do anything foolish or have a good time. And then you just kind of black out. This is why we have COPPA on YouTube. The COPPA Act, where people have to now mention whether this video is for kids or not. And I'm not sure Projared knows whether his videos are for kids. Hi, guys! You're talking to your audience like they're a bunch of 5-year-olds. Seldra, you're alive! They just ate 2 of your friends! And now it's gonna eat me! Like, ooh, look at me, I'm so funny. Oh man, this is just such cringe, man. And again, Jared can't tell a joke. Okay, but like, we're getting some new jobs, so that's pretty sick. See, now that Dad's dead, we're all gonna have to get new jobs. Not only could he not get the joke right, the guy who edited it felt the need to leave the messed up version in front. He could have just cut that first half out, but he didn't. Now, I don't know if he's trying to expose Projared for who he really is at this point. If this is some sort of inside joke within the Projared community. Ugh, I don't even want to think about that right now, but this is complete, utter garbage. I did all of this knowingly and intentionally. It personally affects me because I put a lot of time into my videos, and then I see somebody like this getting all these views and downloads and streams, and I'm thinking to myself, what the hell has the world come to? Why are people watching this? Why are they listening to him? Keep doing your edited videos. I like your edited material the best, where you break things down and, you know, write them out and choose your words carefully. As a streamer, whoa, man, you are really boring to watch.
Chop. Exciting stuff, guys.
And to the guy who's editing this, why don't you just edit your own content? I'm sure you can do much better than Projared. Good luck. Alright, we're coming up with a break right now, but on the other end, we're going to listen to John and Aaron from our Sinclair podcast. Don't go anywhere. back with Game Test Play. I'm Andrew at GameTestPlay.com. And up next, we're going to listen to Our Sinclair, ZX Spectrum. I know some people say ZX Spectrum. I'm sort of in between. You know, I live in mainland China, so I get to meet a lot of people from the UK, Australia, New Zealand. Sometimes I say ZX, sometimes I say ZX. For those uninitiated, the ZX Spectrum is an old console from, I think it came out in 1982. But it had a pretty long life into the early 90s, and it's known for its trippy graphics, very colorful, bright graphics, and it had some really good music too. So we're going to listen to John and Aaron. They're from Our Sinclair, and I'm going to let them introduce you to this exciting podcast.
Hi everybody, welcome to Our Sinclair. I'm John.
And I'm Aaron.
And today, Aaron, we're going to be talking about battle cars.
These guys look like serious gamers. They look like they've been through it all. They played some shit in their day. This is back in the day where you had to work to play your game. And I don't mean like go out and make money. I mean like, you know, get the thing to load. So John asks Aaron if he's ever been to a derby.
Now, I know that you are a student of the fine art of Demolition Derby.
That's true. I do love me a Demolition Derby.
Have you been to a Demolition Derby in person before?
I think if Aaron likes Demolition Derbies, he's probably been to one.
Yeah, oh gosh, yeah, many times, yeah.
Where do you go?
And this may have been something you should have discussed before you started recording.
Where do you go to see such an event?
The last one I went to was in Winfield at the Putnam County Fair. But it was not a good one.
All right, that's a great plug for the Putnam County Fair.
For those people that don't know, can you describe what a Demolition Derby is?
Sure. Basically, a bunch of goofs get a bunch of junk cars. They all get together in this big muddy area, and then they try to destroy each other's cars.
Okay.
Without killing anybody. That's the goal.
Yeah, the goal is to not kill anybody. And I just find it fascinating that John asks Aaron to explain a Demolition Derby. I would just like to get a tally in the comments of how many people know what a Demolition Derby is, because I thought it was common knowledge.
Basically, a bunch of goofs. They all get together in this big muddy area at the Putnam County Fair.
Then John asks Aaron, what attracts you to the Demolition Derby?
Now, what is it that attracts you to the Demolition Derby?
Well, you know, I've never been a big car guy, so I think it's my lack of understanding on how a car works makes me want them to die.
Couple things going on there. He's never been a car guy, but he wants to know how they work. And then he mentions dying again. I mean, I don't know what Aaron's on, but I hope he's not going to kill anybody soon.
The problem with going to a local one is you're not going to get the kind of experience that you would get on on TV, because number one, I don't think they do those anymore because people get killed.
I don't know if he had a bad childhood experience at a Demolition Derby. If he did, I'm very sorry, but he keeps mentioning people getting killed a lot. And I've been to a few monster truck shows and Demolition Derbies, and nobody died, and I had a great time. But in Aaron's defense, he's just joking. He doesn't want people to die.
You want to see, I don't want anybody to get hurt, but I want to see some stuff get smashed.
Yeah, he doesn't want to see anyone get hurt. Just stuff gets smashed. You know, maybe a windshield broken, maybe a neck, a couple vertebrae. All this talk about Demolition Derbies, we still haven't gotten to the game yet, but you'd think that maybe they'd want to get behind the wheel of a car just to try it out.
I know that you probably never had any great desire to be behind the wheel in a Demolition Derby, right?
No, I did want to do it. Yeah,
you
absolutely.
Did? Really?
Oh yeah.
Now,
yeah.
if you were,
why would you ask that, John? That's just such a silly question. It's like, oh, you'd never want to get behind the wheel of one, right? You might hurt yourself. You might even die. And then just Aaron comes out like,
no, I did want to do it. Yeah,
you
absolutely.
Did? Really?
Oh yeah.
Now,
yeah.
yeah, he did want to do it. Of course you want to do it, John. Of course you want to be in a demo derby. Everyone wants to. So we're finally going to get into battle cars now.
Really?
Oh yeah.
We got to find out what's the best thing. What attracted you to battle cars?
So, you know, right away when we looked into this, the name, you know, I love the names, Bo. And battle cars, that tickled my fancy.
Yeah, it tickled your fancy, didn't it, Aaron? It tickles my fancy too, battle cars. So what is this game based off of?
First thing I did before we get into the game, let's talk about the actual game this is based on, which is a game called Battle Cars. All right, did you know? Have you heard of this game?
I don't know if you caught that in the beginning, but he said Battle Cars is based on Battle Cars.
So let's talk about the actual game this is based on, which is a game called Battle Cars.
So was this originally a game before that? Board game? Was it on some other system at the time?
I was just doing the research for the show. I just read that it was based on a tabletop game, correct?
Right. Well, Battle. Now I haven't played Battle Cars.
We don't know at this point.
What is this game? Well, it's a good question because it was not an easy question to answer to even get this game to come up. And I don't blame the game. I blame my lack of Spectrum knowledge.
All right. So you have a podcast about ZX Spectrum called Our Sinclair, and you don't have the knowledge to be able to load this game properly. Now, don't get me twisted. Like, I know it's very hard to load some of these old Commodore, ZX Spectrum, Amstrad CPC games. It can be a pain in the ass, but that's something that I wouldn't want to reveal to my audience.
In fact, I wasn't aware of it. It's also known as Combat Cars. I think over in Europe it may have been called Combat Cars, or maybe in America.
Now, for the viewers instead of listeners, they actually got like a really cool setup where you see their faces, the Battle Cars cover art, and footage of the game that rolls behind them. And it actually looks really good. I like their layout here. It looks awesome. But I think you'd want to jump right into the game a little bit quicker and not reveal your lack of knowledge about the ZX Spectrum, because you're one of the few people out there talking about this stuff regularly. And even if you're not an expert on it, I want to pretend you are, because if you guys aren't, I don't know if we're going to find somebody else.
That tickled my fancy.
What are they talking about here? They go into some other shit.
SD solutions and all that crap. That this in the old days, it took a lot more effort just to get the stuff to load.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was a hard reminder. So let's talk about the different modes in this boat that come up. For one thing, what you're not going to see on the opening screen or any screen is the ability to reconfigure your controls. We'll get into that in a minute.
They go on for a while about how the modes are hard to load and what the hell they did to get this thing started.
You've basically got several different modes. You've got like a circuit and where you could race another racer, or you could race against time, like a time attack. Then you've got your demolition derby mode, where it's just like an arena battle. And then you've got the run through the city.
Oh, my hopes have dwindled for a tight breakdown of what the inner workings of the programming and all that other stuff was going to go into. It's just going to be something basic. They're going to get a surface level understanding of this game. What was the best part of the game, do you think?
Lastly, you've got a car designer. I mean, or excuse me, you've got an editor. How about that?
I think it's a designer. I would call it a designer.
Did you try the editor at all?
Oh, absolutely. That was the most fun part of the game.
The editor is pretty impressive,
Yeah.
Frank. Let's talk about that first.
All right, so this editor, this designer, is the best part of the game. And that's not a good sign that this is a worthy title of your attention if you're talking about the actual editor for the game being the best part. But I'm curious, what mode did they play first?
So the first thing I tried, I'm guessing you tried the same thing, but was the very first option, which is like the circuit. And then I wanted to, of course, I didn't want to play against the time, because what's the fun of that? You know, that's no good. So I played against the computer. Now, this is when I was first introduced to the controls of absolute suck.
All right, sounds like Aaron's got coronavirus over there. He's not a fan of Time Attack either. That's a shame, because I love Time Attack. I like doing speed runs and learning the course, but this is, if you like Time Attack, this isn't your game. Apparently, if you like Demolition Derby, it's not your game either.
Killing anybody.
I played a handful of these old Spectrum games. I don't know if I played any racing games. If I did, they weren't too memorable.
You control, basically there are controller buttons that basically rotate your car. Then you've got accelerate and a deaccelerate.
All right, so you can accelerate or deaccelerate your car. I think we call that braking, but I'm not an expert on Demolition Derby or ZX Spectrum or Battle Cars.
Then you've got accelerate and a deaccelerate. And that's it. You go. Now,
well, you've also got buttons that fire all your weapons.
Oh, I haven't got to the weapons.
Okay,
yet.
okay.
All right, so there are more controls than just those three things. You do have different weapons.
Oh, I haven't got to the weapons.
Okay,
yet.
okay.
So
They have a lot of different games on ZX Spectrum, and I wonder where these guys get their games and how they decide what to talk about on each episode. So where did they hear about this?
And it wasn't until some folks on the Discord, I think it was Hermsky, the guy that suggested that we do this game.
Damn it, Hermsky, why do you have to mention that?
This game was designed for 2 people to be able to play this at once on the same 48K Spectrum.
Why did you have to mention Battle Cars? There's so many great games for the ZX Spectrum, and the music. I'd like to hear some of the music in there. I don't know if this game had a soundtrack, but some of them do, and they're pretty good.
You can have 2 people playing this game simultaneously on the same keyboard is theoretically impressive.
yeah, I agree.
Theoretically impressive that you can have 2 people playing this at the same time. That was a lot to ask for back in 1984, but it's still only theoretically impressive.
You've got these 2 circles under each picture, and what these do is represent your speed in a very bizarre way.
Now, if you're looking at the picture here, you might be wondering, what are those 2 circles that look like gauges underneath the playfield are?
But I mean, it works, but it's just a circle that it fills in as you go faster, slower. It unfills in.
Yeah, it's a unique way to show your speed.
It's a dumb way.
Wow, I can't believe he struggled to understand that that was a gauge. I mean, it's not the prettiest gauge I've ever seen, but it's clearly a speedometer of some sort. What does John think about this?
And so
Well, here's the thing. Actually, I'm going to disagree with you about this because what does 75 miles an hour mean in this
Right.
game? Where are you? This is a gauge.
Yeah, I mean, the game is pretty old. Numbers don't mean anything. And you can tell the circle, when it's more filled in, it's faster. When it's not, it's slower.
It doesn't sound that complicated, does it, Bo?
No. On the face of it, it seems pretty simple.
And I think it's fine. And but this is getting pretty heated.
How did you fare? Did you ever even come close to winning this first race?
No.
Yeah, I didn't either. Did you ever complete a race?
No.
Alright, so they didn't make it too far in Battle Cars. They weren't able to complete a race.
Well, I mean, yes, I did complete a race. I think I completed a race where, like, when the opponent who was in the lead crosses the finish line, you get this ungodly sound. It sounds like something directly from the pits of hell, and then the race just sort of continues. And I think that's just
there's a reason for that.
Okay.
You have to stop the game manually when you're done.
Alright, yeah, it's one of those weird exit things that you do with games back in the day. The same can be said about starting the game. It's like, oh, what button do I press to actually start?
Don't hold. I believe it's either caps, lock, or shift, and the number 6, I think.
Okay.
But the big question about Battle Cars is, do you think it's aged well? Was it ahead of its time? What do you guys think?
This game was probably well ahead of its time, Bode. Would you agree with that statement?
No.
It was.
Judging that it came out in 1984, which is in the earlier ages of the Spectrum, I haven't played it yet. I don't feel like figuring it out or wasting my time, but it seems pretty par for the course. What does John think?
This game could have been great. And I'll tell you how this game could have been great. Mr. Julian should have drawn upon... Actually, I don't know if this game came before or after Chaos.
Alright, so they don't know either. They don't know when this came out relative to other games by the same developer, and no one has a clue what's going on.
Would you agree with that statement?
No.
I actually did do some research. Battle Cars came out in 1984 and Chaos came out in 1985. So Battle Cars predates Chaos, if that can give you any sort of relative idea how good this game was compared to something else by the same developer. But I love what you're doing, guys. Keep doing it. There's a lot of great information beneath all the fluff. But I like the fluff. It's funny. It's funny to listen to. So don't change what you're doing. I want you to stay on as long as possible because I definitely enjoy your show. But our next content creator, I want to make sure leaves the internet completely. Alright, our final content creator of the day is DARKKIRBY14. Now, if you're familiar with Minds.com, which is a social platform similar to Twitter, DARKKIRBY14 likes to post all the time, every day, on the retro gaming and GamerTube groups. Now, I have a personal problem with this because groups used to be one of the best things about Minds, but they had to change it and sort of hide it because there was a lot of crap being posted. I'm just going to let DARKKIRBY14 introduce his channel for you.
Hello everyone, DARKKIRBY14 here. Welcome to more Banjo-Tooie. Hello everyone, DARKKIRBY14 here. Welcome to more Pokemon Sword. Hello everyone, DARKKIRBY14 here. Welcome to the first edition of a new Let's Play. And the game that we're going to be starting today is Sonic Generations. Yep, I'm finally getting around to this because I'm a worthless derelict who likes to push things off.
You think you're providing a service to everyone by streaming these games and sounding like an imbecile. But you're not. You're not doing any work. You're causing internet pollution. And you're making everyone else look bad.
I feel that this game was a good step in the right direction for the Sonic series. I feel that this game was a good step in the right direction.
And also, listen to yourself. Listen to your own material. Can you listen to it? If you can't, it's probably not good enough to post.
I mean, countless missteps. Like,
many of his streams, he doesn't talk too much, but he did used to talk a bit more in some of his older streams. So, here's his attempt at humor.
Because right now you're Ryan Gosling from Remember the Titans. You're a liability. I guess you're being Ryan Gosling from Remember the Titans.
All right. So, in case you didn't get the joke the first time, he throws it in again. But what you're going to hear is mostly blathering.
I'm sorry, Marcelo is just... He's not a starter at this point. Mendy has well surpassed him.
And some of it's very extraneous.
And I gotta say, the 2 goals that were scored today are absolutely... The 2 goals were absolutely on frickin' Rafael Varane.
You'll either get some, like, random screaming.
Yeah, but I like Generations.
Occasionally, he'll mention something about the game.
The levels feel big.
DARKKIRBY14 likes to blather and talk nonsensely.
Yeah, I think like I said before, one of the things I really agree with Ant Dude on that.
Alright, so he's talking to some people in his chat about a sporting event. Maybe it's football, I don't know. But he doesn't really stay focused on his videos or talk about what's happening.
I got to do a little earlier recording because I'm going, like I said, I'm going to Tampa for the freaking, I forgot to say that. I'm going to Tampa for the XFL. I'm actually very, very interested.
No one else is interested.
There's a story about like some of that stuff, but that's for another video because I'm about to run out of time for this one.
Because no one's watching your stuff. And if they were watching your stuff, they don't care about XFL.
Yeah, I gotta say, that was probably our worst player today. Was easily Varane. Yeah, Rafael Varane was our worst player.
But one of his more verbose videos was on Wave Race 64. And I really like Wave Race 64.
Yeah, but I like Generations.
So, here's the start of his Wave Race 64 video.
Hello everyone, DARKKIRBY14 here, recording with Roxio Game Capture HD Pro with AO Boost on microphone on the Purity Network.
Oh no, Roxio's going to want to take that back. They're not going to want anything to do with your stream. So, please don't mention your specs ever again. You're going to bring down their value.
Welcome to more Wave Race 64, okay? I did toggle with this just a smidge with the grip. Alright, so now we're on to the hard circuit. No jokes, please.
Yeah, there are no jokes in this video. There is absolutely no humor to be found. Except for maybe laughing at his possible disability.
I'm a worthless derelict who likes to push things off.
If you are disabled, DARKKIRBY14, I'm sorry for you. But I think there's more productive things you can do with your life. And if you want to get better, try listening to your streams. Try seeing where you can improve in terms of capture quality, presentation, voices.
And Ayumi obviously not happy that I bumped her right there. Yeah, we finished in second. They'll compliment on something like that. Like you didn't have any misses. That's good. Oh no. Oh jeez, not that guy.
Alright, so I got not that guy at the end. I couldn't make out the rest of it, but if anyone wants to transcribe that, please go ahead.
Ah, jeez. Oh no! Oh, I thought I was gonna get bumped off. That would have been perfect. Not really. Alright.
Yeah, not really. You don't know, really, what the hell you're doing.
I'm going to Tampa for the XFL.
It's filling up these boards with stupid crap that no one wants to watch or listen to. And it personally affects me and everyone else on that platform.
I'm actually very, very interested.
Because when we invite people over to Minds, they're going to click on stuff.
Hello, everyone. DARKKIRBY14.
I think that's why Minds started hiding the groups, is because of lousy content like this.
A little over 0.2 of a second. Alright. Alright. Alright.
Welcome to Sunset Bay.
Alright. Now we're gonna go to Sunset Beach.
Alright, everyone has a tick. Everyone has some sort of vocal tick.
Excellent. Got away. See, we're getting it. Hi, guys!
But the trick to recording is to listen back to it and try to remove them. First, you can remove them manually, like in post, but then also try to remove them when you're streaming or when you're talking or narrating something.
Trying to get this damn timing down is so tough. One thing I really hate is the timing thing with me.
Gaming is about timing.
I still wonder if it applies to them. I've always wondered that, if the checkpoints just apply to them or if it doesn't.
But there is a bit of insight that he conjures up with the checkpoint system. Now, this is a good question.
Seems like it would take a lot of programming work to make the AI have to really comply to the checkpoints. So I think I can understand why that's not really a thing. It would take a lot of processing power to do that. To have it do it to you and to them as well.
I don't know if it would take a lot of processing power, but this is something that you should explore more, Dark Kirby. Think about these things and just ask them out loud, like, oh, what's happening with this game? Because you're clearly not going to do research on any of it.
And again, Dave Mariner's riding our ass.
Yes, I'm sure he is. Dave Mariner is riding your ass. And I hope you like that.
That one's a little bit better. Not a whole lot better, but still better. Oh no! I went straight for that buoy.
Yeah, it's not better. None of this is better. None of this should be shown to anybody.
Oh, Yumi got downed on her freaking thing. I call that limp dicking for some reason. I call it going limp dick. Come up with weird things for things. Things to say for things.
Alright, I don't know what things he's talking about, but he mentioned limp dick, so maybe he's talking about Projared.
Yeah, it's still holding. Still doing well. This is the course where I can usually blow people out. Usually. I say that with a tense, like, not overly confident way.
Yeah, get some confidence already.
Luckily, he still can't turn for anything. Yeah, he can't turn for anything.
This is not something anybody would want to put out. So, if you want to get more confident, maybe you should listen to yourself and say, is this lousy?
Most of the time whenever I play this game, it's us three, and I'm playing as Miles G, or it's usually us. It's usually me, Dave, and Rhoda, and Naomi's just kind of there. She's not really doing anything. She finished well last time, but usually she doesn't do anything.
Ooh, sexist.
Not being sexist or anything, it's just from personal observation. A lot of things I say are from personal observation.
I didn't know that. I thought maybe you could observe from someone else's point of view. Maybe you can do one of those body swapping videos.
But if that's me, I mean, that's fine, whatever. Alright.
I think that's what Dark Kirby's getting at here.
I don't have any hidden agendas or anything, that's what I've observed. Just what I've observed over the years.
Where it's like a bunch of chicks that are like, and then they start touching themselves and they pretend they're a man.
I've never felt bad for any AI in any situation in any game ever. Because they all get what they deserve in the end. They all get what they deserve.
2 players. That might be an interesting stream. Kirby playing with somebody else.
Oh jeez, I hate this tunnel. I hate this damn tunnel. Oh no.
But the highlight of his show is definitely the singing.
We're all close together. We're all like scrunched together. We're squeezed in the middle, smack dab in the middle. If you freaking remember that commercial, you'll know where I was going with that.
And then he goes for some rape jokes at the end. Just listen.
Freaking, yeah, things are going a little bit back to normal. Yumi's getting blasted in the butt. No homo. Well, actually, no, because she's a girl. Doesn't mean no homo. Maybe I don't approve of rape.
if it's a girl, it's rape, but if it's a man, it's a homo. So homos can't rape people? Is that what you're saying?
No, because she's a girl. Doesn't mean it's a homo. Maybe I don't approve of rape.
But if it's two men, it's okay?
See that? And with that, this has been at DarkKirby14, recording with Roxio Game Capture HD Pro, with the aid of a Blue Soul microphone of the Purdue Network. See you next time on Wave Race 64. Bring F-Zero Climax West.
Alright, so that about wraps up the show here. I hope you had a good time listening to some of these idiots. Some people are at the cutting edge, and they just need a little push over the finish line before they get there, and that's what I'm trying to do by this. I'm really trying to give you some constructive criticism. I do like some of the things I find on the corner of the internet, and then other things just need to go away. And that's famous people and people with no followers either. There's a lot of internet pollution out there, and I'm trying to cut it out for people because they're getting into my game. They're taking time away from people who could be finding my stuff, which is actually quality entertainment. Instead, we have one guy who likes
exchanging nudes with fans on Snapchat.
Just people talking to themselves.
Their levels feel big.
They have no idea what they're doing. They shouldn't be doing what they're doing. And I hope they stop.
Yeah, you gotta friggin' take this thing down.
This has been Andrew at GameTestPlay.com. If there's any podcasts you'd like me to rip on, anything gaming related, start a dialogue in the comment section. Alright, so I guess there's an inside joke to when he showed those kids his ding-a-ling.